Not usually known for their athleticism or flashy game, there have only been a handful of French players who have made a lasting mark in the NBA. Over the years, we have seen many French players drafted. Some of these players have not only left a lasting mark, but some have excelled at the NBA level, inspiring a new generation of French hoopers. There are 14 French players in the NBA today, and with that being said, let's look at what actually happened to every notable French player in NBA history. What better way to start than with one of the best French players in NBA history, Tony Parker. Born in Belgium and raised in France, Tony Parker inherited his basketball talents from his father, Tony Parker Sr., and his Dutch mother, Pamela Firestone, who both played basketball at different levels. Initially drawn to soccer, Parker shifted gears after witnessing Michael Jordan during trips to his father's city of Chicago. He developed his skills as a point guard at a very young age, and eventually became a French citizen at 15 while still maintaining his American nationality. After playing for amateur teams in France, Parker declined interests from various recruiting schools and declared for the 2001 NBA draft. Eventually, the San Antonio Spurs drafted him with the 28th overall pick, and he played pretty much his entire NBA career there. Parker's impact on the Spurs was immediate and consistent, quickly taking up the starting point guard position and winning 4 NBA championships with the team in 2003, 2005, 2007, and in 2014, putting him in an exclusive class of only 44 players who have won 4 or more NBA titles. No other French player has managed to beat that, ever. His contributions earned him the 2007 NBA Finals MVP. Also, his 4 championships are the most by any French player in NBA history. Standing at 6 feet 2 inches, Parker's agility and scoring talents made him one of the quickest and dangerous players in the league. Although he faced some challenges, including doubts about his shooting abilities and injuries, he still earned 6 All-Star selections in addition to his many accolades. After leaving the Spurs, Parker briefly played for the Charlotte Hornets before retiring back in 2019. His impact on the NBA extended beyond the court, with the Spurs retiring his number 9 jersey in recognition of his remarkable career. Parker might have been the best French player in NBA history, but he certainly wasn't the first. See, back in 1960, Jean-Claude Lefebvre broke ground as the first French and European player to be drafted by an NBA team. He was drafted by the Minneapolis Lakers, later known as the Los Angeles Lakers. He caught the eye of Jim McGregor, an American scout, during a tournament in the Netherlands. Lefebvre initially played college basketball and played for the Gonzaga Bulldogs. However, Lefebvre's promising career was cut short by a career-ending knee injury. And although he never got to play in the NBA, his impact as a pioneer remains highly significant as more French and European players started to make their way to the NBA. Another French player we cannot fail to mention is Boris Dia, who was one of the very few French players to win an NBA championship. Starting his career in France, he was already an impressive talent before being drafted as the 21st overall pick in the 2003 NBA draft. He was initially drafted by the Atlanta Hawks, but was soon traded to the Phoenix Suns, where he truly shined. His versatility earned him the nickname 3D for his ability to drive, dish, and defend. Diaw's stint with the Suns included standout performances. Diaw's breakout season in 2006 saw him notch 13.3 points, 6.9 rebounds, and 6.2 assists per game, as he won the NBA's Most Improved Player award that season. In 2008, Diaw moved to the Charlotte Bobcats before finding a home with the San Antonio Spurs in 2012. His tenure with the Spurs saw him winning an NBA championship in 2014 alongside fellow Frenchman Tony Parker. Following his time with the Spurs, Diaw had brief stints with the Utah Jazz and Le Valais Metropolitans in France before announcing his retirement in 2018. Throughout his career, Diaw exemplified a wide range of versatility in his game. His early years in Phoenix saw him as a playmaker next to Steve Nash, but took on more of a stretch 4 role in San Antonio for their championship run. Some saw Boris Dia as being ahead of his time with his impressive versatility as the modern NBA sees more and more positionless basketball. But while Diaw's career was long and successful, Ronny Turiaf's NBA journey could have ended even before it started. You see, after being drafted by the Los Angeles Lakers in 2005 with the 37th overall pick, Turiaf faced a major health scare when an enlarged aortic root was discovered in his heart, leading to open heart surgery and his contract with the Lakers being void. But they retained the rights to sign him back and paid for his surgery, which went well, and Turiaf recovered quite quickly. He was then re-signed by the Lakers and made the team due to a good number of players being absent because of injuries. During his time with the Lakers, Turiaf showcased his energy and defensive talents, earning the respect of teammates like Kobe Bryant. His journey continued with stints with the Golden State Warriors, New York Knicks, Washington Wizards, and the Miami Heat, where he won the 2012 NBA championship. He also had stints at Los Angeles Clippers and Minnesota Timberwolves. However, injuries, including hip problems, eventually led to his retirement in 2016. But it goes without saying that he had a fairly decent career considering the fact that he wouldn't have even hit the court had his heart condition gone bad. Ronny was also a key piece to the French national team and eventually made the French Basketball Hall of Fame in 2020. Moving on, we've got Nicolas Batum, who came into the spotlight quite early, showcasing his skills in the 2007 Nike Hoops Summit with an all-around impressive performance, displaying his scoring, rebounding, and defensive abilities. As one of Europe's most promising talents back then, he made waves with the junior French national team, winning accolades such as MVP titles in various championships. His success in France at the junior level led him to get drafted with the 25th overall pick by the Houston Rockets in 2008. After being traded to the Trail Blazers, Batum quickly established himself as a key player. Despite facing early setbacks with injuries, he emerged as a reliable starter for the Trail Blazers. He played for 3 seasons in Portland, and after a brief stint with SLUC Nancy during the NBA lockout in 2011, Batum returned to Portland, signing a lucrative contract extension. Batum's tenure with the Trail Blazers was marked by standout moments, including triple-doubles and career-high scoring games. In a game against the New Orleans Hornets back in 2012, Batum recorded only the 15th 5x5 in the NBA since the 1985-86 season, which is when a player has at least 5 points, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks in a single game. Batum's 5x5 was the first since Andrei Kirilenko did so in January 2006. Batum scored 11 points while racking up 10 assists, 5 rebounds, 5 blocks, and 5 steals in a 95-94 win. In 2015, Batum signed with the Charlotte Hornets, where he continued to perform at a high level, earning Player of the Week honors and recording valuable points in crucial games. He was an important player for the Hornets, but they were forced to waive him in 2020 due to constant injuries. He then played for the Los Angeles Clippers, where nothing much happened for him. In the summer of 2023, Batum joined the Philadelphia 76ers, adding depth and experience to their roster. Throughout his career, Batum's defensive talents, highlighted by his signature chase-down blocks, has been a defining aspect of his game, earning him recognition as one of the NBA's top defenders and one of French's best talents. Up next, Rodrigue Beaubois is yet another Frenchman who made waves in the NBA with his dynamic style of play. His journey began with Cholet Basket in France, where he showcased his skills and caught the attention of scouts with his impressive stats. Beaubois eventually transitioned to the NBA in 2009, where he was drafted 25th overall by the Oklahoma City Thunder and later traded to the Dallas Mavericks. He was initially a projected first-round pick in the 2007 and 2008 draft, but he withdrew from both drafts and was eventually drafted in 2009. In March 2010, Beaubois made headlines by scoring 22 points against the Sacramento Kings, setting a rookie record for the Mavs. Just 22 days later, he amazed fans with a career-high 40 points against the Golden State Warriors and made a rookie record of 9 of 11 three-pointers against fellow rookie Steph Curry. In the 2010-2011 season, his sophomore season, Beaubois looked to put up more numbers and playing time under his belt, but unfortunately, before the start of the 2011 playoffs, he sprained his left foot in a game against the Warriors. He did not return to action or see playing time during the 2-month playoff run leading up to the Mavericks' victories over the Blazers, Lakers, Thunder, and Heat en route to their first NBA championship. Although lagging injuries cut his NBA career short, his impact in French basketball was undeniable. Beaubois' NBA journey came to an end after the 2012-13 season when the Mavericks missed the playoffs for the first time in over a decade. Now to one of the best French players in NBA history, and one of the best defensive bigs in the NBA, Rudy Gobert. His 7'1" was quite impressive, but what's even more impressive was his massive wingspan, which at the time was actually a draft record at 7 feet 8.5 inches. He was eventually drafted 27th overall in the 2013 NBA draft by the Denver Nuggets, but landed with the Utah Jazz via a draft night trade. His rookie season in 2013-2014 saw him making strides, in which he played in 45 games for the Jazz. The 2014-2015 season showcased his growth, marked by a career-high 24 rebounds against the Grizzlies. In the 2016-2017 season, Gobert signed a lucrative contract extension, becoming the highest-paid French athlete. This season was packed with highlights, including a 27-point, 25-rebound game. And the season even ended on a high note, with Gobert helping the Jazz secure their first playoff victory since 2010. The 2017-2018 season marked Gobert's first NBA Defensive Player of the Year award. And Gobert's dominance continued in the 2018-2019 season, earning his second DPOY award and setting a dunk record. The 2019-2020 season saw Gobert making his first All-Star appearance. However, the season took an unexpected turn when Gobert tested positive for COVID-19, leading to the suspension of the NBA season. And yes, to this day, Gobert gets clowned for acting like COVID was no big deal, until he became the first player in the entire league to catch the virus. Let's not forget about his bromance with Draymond Green either. Wait, about that. In the 2020-2021 season, Gobert signed a massive 5-year, $205 million contract extension with the Jazz, securing the third largest contract in NBA history at the time and the largest ever for a center. He went on to win a third Defensive Player of the Year award. The 2021-2022 season brought more accolades, as Gobert led the league in rebounds and blocks per game. He also secured his 6th consecutive NBA All-Defensive First Team selection. After the season, Gobert found himself traded to the Minnesota Timberwolves in the summer of 2022 in a historically huge deal. Minnesota laid out the assets like the man was Michael Jordan. They gave up 3 unprotected first-round picks in 2023, 2025, and 2027, a top 5 protected first-round pick in 2029, the draft rights to Walker Kessler, and 4 veterans, Patrick Beverley, Malik Beasley, Jared Vanderbilt, and Leandro Bolmaro, all for Gobert. He quickly got going with a double-double on his debut, and he slowly became a key figure for the Wolves. Currently in his 2nd season in Minnesota, he's part of the new-look Timberwolves, who are playing their best season in a long time, as they currently sit among the top teams in the Western Conference. Gobert has become one of the best rim protectors in the NBA. His 3 NBA Defensive Player of the Year awards puts him in elite company, being one of only 4 players to win the award 3 or more times. Next up is Killian Hayes, who has been the most scrutinized French name in the NBA in recent years, due to not living up to his draft projection as a top 10 pick. Born in Lakeland, Florida, Hayes grew up in France, following in his father's footsteps, who was also a basketball player. Hayes started shining early, playing for Cholet in France before making waves with Ulm in Germany. In Cholet, Hayes debuted at just 16, and he managed to average 7.1 points and 3.1 assists per game in his debut season. His move to Ulm in 2019 marked a new chapter. Hayes quickly made an impact, posting impressive stats like 15 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists in his debut game. He even set records, becoming the second youngest player to register a double-double in the Euro Cup. The 2020 NBA Draft saw Hayes selected 7th overall by the Detroit Pistons. Despite a promising start, including a career-high 21 points in one game, he was sidelined for an extended period due to a hip injury. And unfortunately, the biggest highlight of his NBA career might just be the incident against the Orlando Magic, which led to a 3-game suspension in late December 2022. He punched Orlando's Mo Wagner after a shove. Unfortunately, his journey with the Pistons came to an end in February 2024 when he was waived by the team, and talks about him being a bust has been circulating around the NBA community. And what better way to wrap up the list with the potential superstar in the making who's been making waves in his rookie year? Victor Wembanyama, who is one of the greatest NBA prospects in history, is not your average NBA rookie. The San Antonio Spurs took him as the first overall pick in the 2023 NBA Draft. Wembanyama became the first French player to be selected first overall in the NBA Draft, and only the second European to do so after Andre Bargnani back in 2006. His NBA Summer League debut was a mix of nerves and excitement, but he quickly found his footing, dropping impressive numbers like 27 points and 12 rebounds in one game against the Portland Trail Blazers. And this regular season has not been any different, as he looks to lock up the Rookie of the Year award over Chet Holmgren. He notched a career-high 38 points in a single game, and even recorded a triple-double with blocks, which has not been done by a rookie since David Robinson in 1990. LeBron James himself couldn't help but gush about Wembanyama's talent, calling him a generational talent. And he was not alone. Analysts and scouts have been buzzing about Wembanyama for years, comparing him to legends like Wilt Chamberlain and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Wembanyama's height has raised some concerns about durability, and opponents aren't shy about testing his strength on the court. But even still, his skills speak for themselves. He currently leads all rookies in points per game, rebounds per game, blocks, steals, and free throws attempted. He's the frontrunner for Rookie of the Year. At just 20 years old, Wembanyama's already making waves in the NBA, and it's safe to say we'll be hearing a lot more about this kid in the years to come. And another thing to expect in the coming years are more French talents making their way to the NBA, and it probably won't be too long before we witness another Wembanyama. Which French player do you think has made the biggest impact on the NBA? Let us know in the comments below.